120 seconds. 110 seconds. 100 seconds. 90 seconds. 80 seconds. 70 seconds. 60 seconds. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'Hi.
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Friends, once again, it's time to get our talk on. This morning talk with me, your host, J.C. McCauley, along with the champions of talk. Cleo Duke-Wright in the house this morning. Good morning there, Miss Cleo. How are you?
Good morning. I'm pretty good today.
You doing pretty good?
Yes.
All right. Get your volume set here. There we go. That's better. We're running late this morning because the talk champions was in here talking. We've been talking for the last 40 minutes at least.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That long?
That long?
My goodness.
It's been long. Yeah.
Thank you for standing by and waiting for us to get our act together here.
Yeah, someone, one of the viewers said, I don't see you. Are you on? And we're in here having the show without y'all. So we're in here talking like we're on the air, having a whole conversation about all kind of stuff, and so we're here now. So how was your? It's been 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, kind of settling into my new place, and I stopped wanting to be. I wanted to have this look. You know how you always want your house to have a certain look? I wanted to have this look. I said, never had it before, but I have this look. And so I'm working to have a look. And then I turn around and look at the place. And you know what it looks like?
What's that?
It looks like Cleo's place.
Cleo's place.
Just the same old, and
It looks the same. If you walked in there, you wouldn't know you had moved.
my friend, I was moving many years ago, and I said, "Oh, my house is gonna be this." He said, "Your house is gonna be your house, Cleo. It's gonna be just like this." And I said, "No, it's not. No, it's not." Because I love those people who know how to decorate pictures and all of this stuff, and I just love to look at it. But I'm not handy like that, so this place was gonna be that way. But it's just Cleo's house.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. So I said, "Oh well, Cleo, just lay back and do the best you can." And so that's why. So I'm getting comfortable. With it. Everything's familiar. All my books around me and my family and the same old.
Mm-hmm.
Except I'm really a lot more comfortable where I am now than I was before, and it's a lot easier for us. So it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's good.
Well, as they say, there's no place like home. And so, as long as you're comfortable there,
I'm comfortable.
that's all that really matters.
Yes, I was going to have places where my family could not sit. You can't do this here. You can't do that. You got to do this over here. You got to do it, And then all of a sudden, they very relaxed and laid down.
Mm-hmm.
So all those rules that I made, some of them are true, like where they are to eat and all of that. That came true. They're really good at that, and so am I. Most of the time. But you just lay back and you become yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't work at it, you just are who you are, and that's that's just who we are. So we're good. We're good.
All right. Well, that's a great thing. There's no place like home, and and home's
right.
got to be comfortable. I mean, you have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable where you are. Because if you're not comfortable there, then your place is your place. It don't have to please no one else but you. And that's the beauty of having your own place.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know, like my office, my wife calls it a menagerie, and it isn't as in my mind. I want it to look like one of those update modern offices in a magazine. It's clean. The desk is there and it's big and spacious. But that's not my office. My office is a workspace. And so I'll work in this office. All my equipment is in here. And so I would imagine if you came in here for the first time, it wouldn't look too nice. I got a big bag of potato chips over there. And it's not open. But and I have junk everywhere. Everything I have for television
is in this room.
And but it's comfortable. It's comfortable. It's my space. So this is how I did. All the things that are important to me are in here. My little pictures and my little avocado plant. Somebody gave me that. It was a seed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And that's how many years have you had it?
Oh, I've only had it for like maybe 3 months.
And you just pick out from a seed?
It was grown from a seed. Colin gave me that. He grew it from a seed. He says, I'm gonna plant the seed for you. I'm gonna bring you an avocado plant. And in that, look how big it's getting. I had to take it and put it in a different pot. And then it'll really
grow. Avocados?
Yes. He said it will grow fruit. But yeah, it's growing like a weed. Well, it's growing like an avocado plant.
Well, I'd like to see the first avocado.
I am sure that will happen.
Do you talk to it?
I don't talk to the plant per se. Like, I don't have conversations with the plant. But the plant is here for all of the conversations in the room. So the plant is an integral part of every conversation. It's heard every conversation, and so it's part of the fabric of the room. It's alive.
Yes,
It's alive. It's alive, and it.
I think that's how I think about trees.
Trees are alive.
I go to the park. I talk to the trees. I said, "Oh, I wonder what you know." I wish you could tell me what you know. What you've heard and what you know throughout the years.
Wouldn't that be something if in time future we find out that the trees were like memory sticks. They every conversation that the trees have ever heard is like stored in them, and then their roots and underground networks where the roots touch one another, and worldwide there's a whole network of understanding of what happened on Earth.
I when I look at trees, I just know they have knowledge. I just and I always am called to a particular tree.
Mm-hmm.
When I go into a park or when I see a tree. Sometimes I look at trees and I said, that's a male, that's a female. I don't know if it is or not, but it's the way they look and the way, I communicate with them. I think that they have knowledge.
There are male and female trees. Male and female plants.
Some trees I just look at and I just say, feel as a male or as a female. And I don't know if they have male or female trees, but.
Mm-mm. Plant people know these things, though. There's some people out there. I'm amazed. They're into plants. They garden, and they know the soil and the texture of the soil and what the soil needs for the plant, what the plant needs, what the tree needs, and arborists to take care of the trees.
Now, see, I like to watch people plant, and they get their hand, and because they always look so calm and so engaged in the soil and in the plants. They look, so I like to see that. So I could sit. I'm not gonna do it. I could sit and just watch them enjoy the earth and enjoy the planting, and they love to they love the soil in their hands and
right.
all of that.
And you see the soil, and it's on their fingers. And they're having a relationship with the soil, and the plant. And they put the seed in, and the water, and they spend a whole day in the garden.
My dad tried to get the three of us to have a garden or something, but it definitely didn't take with me, and it's a little with my sister when Dad was around because it pleased him, and we wanted to please him, but I couldn't even please him, and my brother took it up for a while. My son loves to plant and grow things. When he had his house, he grew vegetables and peppers and all of that kind of stuff. I love to see it, but I'm not in there.
I like the idea of planting, which is different than actual planting. I think I have this you romanticize this thing, and it's something you're going to do one day, but of course you never get to it. I like going to the flower show.
A flower show?
The flower show.
The flower? We have a flower show?
Well, not like the flower show, but, they have a flower show comes down to the to the convention center.
Oh, I didn't know
and,
that.
I remember going to the flower show with my mom. So we always went to the flowers. My mother loves plants. So she would always plant outside a garden. She had like a rock garden that she made. She'd go out, went out and got the rocks. And we'd drive places and just tell my dad to pull over. That's a nice rock, James. Get that rock. And she would get a rock and bring this thing back piece by piece. And then finally there was this rock garden, and there was a little fountain coming out, and it just, in time, it grew to this huge thing. And she had plants all over the house. They did have a garden for a little while, But my mother's sole worker was my dad, so you can only plant so much. she like directed him on what to do. So
So she really wasn't the planter.
She would plant, but he's out there helping her and doing whatever.
And picking out the weeds. It was so.
Yeah, you go out and weed. Now, I've done my share of garden weeding when we were kids.
It's a tedious job. You gotta love it. You gotta want to see it, become beautiful as you take out the dandelions. I love dandelions. And they're weeds, right?
Dandelions, weeds. I
love to see the dandelions in the spring. I love to see the dandelions, and
I don't like seeing them.
Someone said, "Do you realize they're weeds?
They're weeds. They're. I don't like seeing the dandelions because the dandelions would take over the lawn, and of course, then they seed.
Yep.
And then they're just more dandelions. So when I was a kid, we used to have to cut the lawn. I'm having flashbacks of spending my whole summer mowing the lawn because we had a big lawn, and my mother thought that the lawn should look like a golf course. So that's what my chore was, to mow the lawn. We had tractor, and we mowed.
A sit-down tractor?
Yeah. And I would drive the tractor and back and forth, and that's all I did is mow the lawn. Because, of course, when it rains, the grass grows, and you have to mow the lawn again. The summer was spent mowing. That was my chore. Mowing the lawn. My sister,
and you loved it, right?
I didn't love it. No. You do your chore. You do what you're told. You do your chores. My sister's chore was laundry.
What did you just say?
You did what you were told.
Woo!
You did the chores.
It just reminded me the other day that this young man, he was in his late teens. He was in his teens, early 20s, rushing out of Bergdorf, screaming and hollering and cussing. And he said, "I don't care how old you are. I'm not blank, 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 blank." And all the guards came out. And when you said, "Do what you're told," this young man, he said, I don't care how old you are."
Oh, that was unacceptable.
Very unacceptable.
No.
Very unacceptable. But actually there was a time when you actually did do what you were told.
Basically,
you did what you were told to do.
I'm old school. Very old school. You do what you're told. That's what parents are supposed to tell the children. Do what their parents tell them.
We have made the children the parents. And they can do what they want to do, and don't touch me too hard. I'll call DCF on you. I've heard children.
See, that would trigger me.
I've heard children.
You don't have to. No. You don't have to. Look, get in the car. I'll take you to DCF.
How many parents say you want to keep them? Keep them.
Old school.
If I can't discipline them, then you discipline them.
Right.
But.
Right.
That's how teachers are in that position where they're kind of locked in. They can't yell. They can't really discipline. They can't do anything, and so you
lose control of the classroom.
That's right, because the children know
there's no order in the class. Right. Therefore, the children are controlling the environment, and then now they can't learn. They're there to learn, so that they can be competitive in the general overall society. So if you have children who can't learn and don't know anything at the end of the school experience, they become incapable of competing on the world stage for jobs and things along that line. And we're no longer competing with kids from the neighborhood or the next town over. You're competing with people online. Mm-hmm. So anything that you could get done here, you could get done from someone anywhere in the world. Even to the degree that they can actually make something for you and ship it here. So, now the person that can do the highest quality at the lowest price is the one that's going to get the job.
That's right.
And in a world where everything is now happening in an online environment, where people are going to work via Zoom, the person you work with, your colleague could actually live in Guam, or
there's one. Well, I'm a caretaker. There's one position. There's probably many, but there's one position you can't Zoom. You can't do it online. You can't work at home, and that's caretakers.
Well, I thought that was a pretty safe position, but I was watching some stuff this morning, and with the new AI and the capacity at which they are coming close to robots who can talk, have conversation, have a sense of when you're being depressed, what they need to say to make you cheer up, and have a whole conversation and interact with you in ways that,
So you don't have to interact with people.
And you don't have to interact with people. And a lot of times, the interaction issue is people.
People.
So there's a whole subculture, and it's becoming more and more normalized, of individuals will have conversations with artificial intelligence via their
like the jet
applications.
Skis? Remember
the Jetsons.
The Jetsons.
Remember the maid robot?
Yes.
I want to say her name was. She had a name. I can't remember the name of the Jetsons robot. I'll bet you the artificial intelligence knows. Alexa. What was the name of the Jetsons robot?
Rosie the Robot is the family made on the primetime animated television series The Jetsons, which originally aired on ABC in 1962.
1962? I thought it was later than that, like maybe 19 up the road of 60s.
But when I realized
Rosie the Robot, that's right, Rosie.
Whatever we could think of and create in our heads, we can create in reality.
Yes.
When we in the 50s, who was that person who went out to space, and he had this, it looks like a can now because it shakes, and he got into his spaceship and he went out to space. Oh, why am I asking you about the 50s?
You're talking about Flash Gordon?
Flash Gordon. And there was one more, but Flash Gordon is yeah. All of that came true. Plus,
yeah. I remember.
All of that
I
came
remember
true.
Flash Gordon.
So I can think of So after that I said, anything we can think of, we could do.
Anything we can think of,
we can do.
We can do.
That's right. It becomes a reality in your mind. When I was young, I said, if I think that hard enough, it'll happen. So I have to think good things. So every time something negative came into my mind, I remember trying to push it out because I knew that if I thought negatively, that negative would happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it throughout my lifetime. And if you sit down and think about the negative things that you thought about, that you knew were going to come true, that you believed in, actually did come true.
Well,
the
greatest natural resource we have is our mind. The old commercial for the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Remember that?
Yes.
That commercial. A mind is that, and that's so true. And if your mind is not sober, if your mind is not inquisitive, engaging, if it doesn't have the capacity to see things that are wrong, then it won't have the capacity to find ways to fix what's wrong.
So
you got to think.
Is there going to be a group of people who is behind the artificial intelligence, and then the rest of us in the corral who slowly give up that privilege, give up that freedom of thinking, because we have so much around us that to think for us that we no longer think. And that one or two people in the corral that refuse to not think, they're going to be brought into the artificial, behind the artificial intelligence. They're going to be in this group. They're going to take them out and put them in this group. And the rest of us who are satisfied with not thinking and having thoughts brought into us instead of us giving out the thought, are going to stay in the corral. That's how I'm thinking, that don't give up your mind. No matter what happens, don't give up your mind.
Don't surrender your mind.
Don't surrender your mind.
Don't surrender your mind.
But you could see it happening.
You see
you could see it happening.
You see it happening all around. You know, folks. Question. Don't become mind numb. All right, don't become a conformist. You know, the compliant few get through. You know, there's a lot of stuff being said about like January the 6th, attack on democracy. You know, but you know the real insidious attacks on democracy are those that don't want you to participate in the actual process. So they want you to kind of like step down, sit back, let us do what we need to do for you.
And if you think, they're going to get very angry with you.
Oh, yeah.
Angry. And they're going to say really horrible things to bring you back into line.
Right. Conform.
Sometimes you're just going to be on the outside, but you'll be you.
Better to be on the outside being who you actually are than on the inside and surrendering yourself to the will of others. Yeah, absolutely.
And you could tell people, you talk to them and tell them you really don't have to go that way. You really don't have to think that way. And if they're telling you something, think it out. Think it out. Don't just blindly trust. All those people on television, I have, who are always smiling and laughing and happy. And, they're talking to us. If you get this, you'll be happy. If you get that, you'll be happy. And everything makes, even the stupidest things, commercials are really crazy. Just, that's not real.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely not real.
Absolutely.
But we fall into that. Look at shoes. Shoes don't make you happy.
Hold that thought, Miss Cleo. Shoes don't make you happy.
Shoes don't make you happy. You have a new dress.
Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now more than ever, you need to make your vote count. It's time to clear the air and vote for a mayor that is unbought, unbossed, trusted, and accountable to you, the constituent. My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, in the Democratic Party primary election for mayor of the city of Hartford. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience and vote for the name you trust and know. Vote J. Stan McCauley for mayor.
Hi.
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, welcome back. Little Jay Hogarth in the background. The maestro. There he is. I want to invite him to come in. He plays the vibraphone. That's him right there. And he is a professor of music. And he is down at Wesleyan. He's in charge of the music department. And I really want to get him to come in and just talk to us about, music and the whole, and him putting together this album and play some of his songs with him as a guest and just like have a whole music special.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I think so. I could sit and listen to this whole album. Well, I do, but I mean, I could watch these.
Just sit here and watch them.
Yeah. That's my favorite instrument, the xylophone.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was fascinating to hear someone play, to see someone. Because you don't see it very often.
Mm-mm. It's like a musical drum.
Who famous black person played the xylophone?
All right, I gotta stop because this is like ear candy, and it's nice and sweet ear candy music. Lionel Hampton,
Was it Lionel Hampton? I remember
vibraphonist.
a black person playing the xylophone, the famous person, but
I don't know. Alexa, who was Lionel Hampton?
Lionel Leo Hampton was an American jazz vibraphonist, pianist, percussionist, and bandleader. Hampton worked with jazz musicians from Teddy Wilson, Benny Goodman, and Buddy Rich, to Charlie Parker, Charles Mingus, and Quincy Jones. In 1992, he was inducted into the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame, and he was awarded the National Medal of Arts in 1996.
Wow. See, artificial intelligence knows everything. What you don't know, it knows. And if you don't know, the only reason you don't know, if you don't know, the only reason you continue to know is because you don't ask. And everybody's walking around with an artificial intelligence device with them. So few people use the phone for like information. Life-changing information is on this device. It's like the Library of Congress in your hand.
Right.
And everything you would like to know is here. You can cross-reference and cross-check to make sure that the information you get is accurate. A lot of people use this just for entertainment. It's the most powerful device in human history in terms of knowledge and wisdom. And people use it as a toy. They want one because it's the newest model, as opposed to access to the information that's on it.
I finally did get my husband a phone. He can't use a phone. He doesn't know how to use a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Flip phones he breaks. So I got him a regular phone.
Mm-hmm.
I said, we're just going to have a landline. And you just pick up the phone. And he drove me so crazy that I finally got him a phone. He has not used it yet. And see, the Cleo, Cleo, how do you use this phone? Cleo, how do you do this? Cleo. And then we got the smart TV.
Mm-hmm.
I can't use that smart. I don't know what that thing is doing. Then all of a sudden it starts talking. I can't stand it. So the TV sits there and the phone sits there because I have enough trouble with my own phone. You know, I said, I want the simplest phone you could, I just want a phone that talks, that he could just call up someone and that's it. I don't want nothing else on it. But there is no such phone.
You could program your smartphone to just be able to, hit a button and just speak. You don't really need a program. You could do.
Just hit this button and say, call Kathy.
Yeah. So like if we use the phone, if we do this, let's experiment. So press this button here. Call Cleo Duke-Wright. Make a phone call. Let's see if your phone rings.
Calling me? No.
Calling Cleo Duke-Wright, mobile.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
So just one button. Push it.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And then that's what now I'm sure you have an Apple or
He has a
Samsung or Android.
Android.
Okay, yeah. So the Android just the Google search bar has a microphone. Touch the microphone. Tell her who to call. That's it. That's it. That's it.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And then it doesn't need any special programming or anything. It just
the name doesn't have to be in your contact.
Well, you're gonna have to put the name in the contact. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But you make a contact list. So if there's 4 people he need to call, just put their names. They're the only names in the phone. Call Dad. Call my daughter's on. She's excited because she's gonna get a phone. The 13-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah, 7th grade. She's gonna get a phone. She's gonna get a phone because she'll start in a new school next year because the school she's at ages out. Does it age out? I don't know. I think it ages out. She goes to high school next year.
Oh.
She goes to high school next year, so she's going to be going to school with her sister. Because they go to 2 different schools. It's a pain in the neck. I can only imagine for parents to have like 3 kids. And all 3 kids are going to different schools. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Who's going tonight? 7's going into high school?
7 is going into the 9th grade. She's in 8th grade now.
And so your other daughter?
Nia is younger than her.
And they're going to be going to the same school now?
Right, because Nia is in the 6th grade. She'll be going into the 7th grade. 7 is in the 8th grade, getting ready to go into the 9th grade. But Nia's school is a 6 to 12.
Oh, and she's going to be going to that same school.
So she'll be going to the same school as Nia because Nia, 7 has, you have sibling preference. So if you have a sibling in a school, then you can get your other sibling can go to that school. It's a mess. I liked it better when the school was like down the street. Like the school that's actually down the street. I don't understand why that school can't be the school. You had a neighborhood school. You should have neighborhood elementary schools,
and neighborhood friends,
a neighborhood middle school, and a broader neighborhood high school, like it used to be. And if there's something wrong with the school, you fix the school. You don't create a whole system to take them to a different school. You fix what's wrong at the school.
Yeah, but there's other things to that. reasons why they do that, because it doesn't make any sense. When Weaver,
pull your mic up.
When Weaver got to be, the population kept going down.
Mm-hmm.
So someone's suggestion was, I think it was one of the city council people said, well, why don't you just send them back to the old Weaver? And they said, oh, no, we can't send them back to the old Weaver because the old Weaver is so old that it would take us more money to fix it than to build another school. That's what they said. And yet they did exactly what we asked them to do, only they did it for a grammar school. They could have fixed it in the first place and just sent Weaver back to that school. But there goes another tale that they tell. They could have fixed it.
Yeah. See, I think too much of school, too many things are centered around the opportunity to profit.
To what?
Profit.
And
make money. So,
right.
Everything is a matter of money. Money becomes the central player in every decision, as opposed to the good that it does for the community. Because money is only an issue when you don't want to do something. Like, do we need an underground tunnel through Hartford for traffic? Is that a necessity? I would contend that it is not. But if it's what you want, that's cool.
If it's what who wants?
Whoever has the power to make it happen. Because at the end of the day, the individual or group with the power to make it happen, they're the ones that get their way. It could be 10 million people don't want it to happen. If 16 want it to happen, then it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the 10 million want a better school. The 16 say, you don't need a better school. Where are we going to get the money?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where are we going to get the money?
Yeah.
But if the 16 people want an underground tunnel to move traffic, I said, well, money's not a problem. We have plenty of money. If we can print the money, we'll get the money. I mean, so these people get money when they want something.
Mm-hmm.
When they don't want something, then the money is a problem. Oh, I don't know how we're going to get the money. We're going to get appropriations. And now the story goes on and on and on and on. Oh, we don't have the people that have been trained. This, that, and the third. Yeah. Now, you can put how do you do an underground tunnel? Well, we'll make the equipment. The equipment doesn't exist. Well, we'll make it. Oh, no one knows how to operate it. Well, we'll train them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all a matter of what you want and who has the power to make it happen. And the people have given up their power, just like we were talking before the break about people giving up their brain to a superior intelligence like AI.
Superior intelligence.
Mm-hmm. It thinks faster. It accesses information faster than you can because it's all digital. And even though people can access information, they don't. Much of what people need to know is in the library downtown, but they don't want to go read.
Well, they didn't go to the library. A lot of people didn't go to the library before.
That's right.
I used to love to go to the library and look through the Cardex.
Mm-hmm.
Do they still have Cardex in the library? I don't know.
I think everything's computerized now.
Oh,
they must have some sort of
the Dewey Decimal System.
Some sort of backup that you could actually find out where stuff is if the system goes down. It would seem to me that would be prudent, but we don't work with prudent anymore. No.
We had to learn that. We had to learn the Dewey Decimal System in school and how to find things in the library.
Well, once upon a time, that was the height of technology. I mean, you had a system and alphanumeric and the A's and then the B's and the B1.
Right.
B1.11.
And libraries were places that you could be quiet in. You can't be. There are some libraries I never go into when I go to the library because they're too noisy. And when you ask, it's too noisy in here. Is there a quiet place? And they tell you, no, there isn't. Especially the smaller libraries.
Well,
I have to stop going there.
Why are they noisy? Because of the young people or just people in general?
I don't know. Well, there's a lot of young people there. They're babysitting sites, you know, in a way, I thought. And I don't know what other reasons why they're so noisy and people running around and laughing. My gosh, that librarian would have kicked you out that library. You know, when I was younger and you made noise, because a library was a place to study and to learn and to read, and you needed quiet. And you weren't allowed to. You could whisper, but you can't. And if you whisper too loud, the librarian's coming over.
Shush you.
And
Shh.
Yeah, but
Quiet. I need you to be quiet. You're making too much noise.
because people are studying, people would come in and just read the newspaper and all of that stuff, and it would be quiet. But there's some libraries I love because you could still do that. There are some libraries you can still do that. Go in and read and study and have some peace, but a lot of them, some of them you can't. And I'm thinking it's more so the neighborhood libraries that you can't do that, you know, can't have that quiet.
I would imagine the libraries come a place of refuge. It would be, I think, you know, the community centers. You should have a community center and a recreation center, and the rec center would be that place. To me, every school should be a recreation center, as well as the school. I mean, when school ends,
it should be a
recreational center. There's a library in the school. The school library should be open so people can study, go online, do computer stuff.
Doesn't that make sense?
It makes so much sense. It'll never, you know, people won't do it.
No, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Well, it's not in the near future because people don't think like
If I become mayor, it'll happen.
What if you become mayor?
If I become mayor, that's gonna happen.
And have a recreational center in the school.
The parks and recs will share space with the schools.
That would be so
right. Anything can happen if you want it to happen, and what you do is you move the obstructionists out of the way. There's always going to be people against whatever it is you're for. Always. It's a given. So you just factor them into the reality. So we would factor that in. But yeah, there's no reason why Parks and Recreation shouldn't be a part of the number one place that the city's youth attend, the school building.
You know, when I was in this library, small library, children would come in after school and say to the librarian, "I'm hungry." And the librarian said to me, a lot of children come in and say, so sometimes this particular library had snacks, or someone would bring in snacks for the children after school.
Now, most schools have a place where kids can eat, the cafeteria.
Right.
So imagine if a kid was hungry after school and they could actually go to the cafeteria. And get something to eat. But once again, these ideas are way too complex for most people to handle. So you'll find a reason why they can't. See, most times what people come up with is why they can't do a thing, as opposed to let's make it happen. So when the attitude is let's make it happen, then you find the means and the ways to make it happen. Oh, that can't happen. So kid goes hungry. There shouldn't be any hungry kids in the city.
Well, you know, isn't it the same? We used to have after school activities, which, you know, and you went to the gym, you went to the science club, you went to this, you went to that, whatever. There was something after school, and it usually lasted until about 4 o'clock. And school would end in high school, and it ended at 2 something, and you'd be in school till after 4 o'clock in whatever activity you were doing. I always wanted to go to the debating club, although I was too shy to talk. But I used to love to hear people debate in arguments, even though I was not I didn't do it. I just kind of listened. I thought it would be so great if I was in a debating club. But that was so there were different interests, and kids would go to different, and teachers were in charge of whatever their interest was. I don't know how they chose the teachers to be heads of things, but
so much that worked has been changed to replace it with something that isn't working.
Right. Music.
It's not working, And so, in many ways, we don't have school choice. We have school chaos. I call it school chaos.
Whatever they changed, whatever it was that they had then, had been working for many, 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 many years.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't new that it was just came about in my generation. It was in my mother's generation that they had all of these things too. And they worked. And here comes the 70s, 80s, and whatever, and we're going to change this thing, and nothing has worked since.
Right. It's as though someone came around and said, the wheels are round, but what if we made them square? That way you get better grip. When the edges of the square wheel come, they would force the car to have more traction. Well, what's wrong with the round wheel? It's been that way for centuries. It's time for something new. It's time to think out of the box. You don't have to think out of the box when something works. You think out of the box when something doesn't work. It's broken. It needs to be fixed.
When they changed the YMCA to whatever they changed it to, it totally failed in that beautiful place that people used to go in all stages of all different cultures, all stages of life, went to this one place and gathered and had community to some extent, was like taken away. And now we have, what do we have? We don't have a YMCA. You shouldn't even call it YMCA. Young Men's Association.
Young Men's Christian Association.
You shouldn't even have that. You should just take that name out and call it something else, because there is no YMCA anymore. Mm-hmm. And the YMCA and the YWCA were two different things, but the YMCA incorporated everybody. You could go, the YMCA has kept its goal to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
But, we used to go to the YWCA for family night swimming and all of that. But it was the YMCA who had the summer camp.
Mm.
You send your kid when they're 8 years old, go to summer camp all day. You had the marginal people, you had the working people, you had the well-to-do people, all at the YMCA. They communicated. What do they got now? They destroyed it, and it was a place of refuge. You could get a room if you were traveling. You get a room for little enough, not that much, to live there for 2 weeks. What, it was a month or 2 weeks, and then you had to go out for a day and come back or something like that. Nothing now. We have a corporate place. It's in the whole purpose for the YMCA has left.
Yeah.
I think that's shameful.
Yeah, the times have changed, and to a certain degree, I think people are just the ways that used to work. Someone came along and said, "They don't work."
Let's make some money.
Yeah,
let's make
we
some
can
money
capitalize off of this. We create a need, and then we'll profit off of it. And
failed miserably.
And profit takes over everything.
Yeah.
Stick and Stay will be right back. Morning Talk.
ready? Coming Friday, May 5th, 2023 at 7 p.m. is the Season 1 finale of Hartford's Got Talent at the famous Bushnell Theater in Hartford, Connecticut. Talent of all ages compete for $15,000 in cash prizes and awards. Don't miss it. Hartford's Got Talent, Friday, May 5th at the Bushnell in Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford's Got Talent, showcasing talent and connecting community. For more information, visit www.hartfordsgottalent.org.
How do you define evil? Is evil the pedophile school administrator or taxation without representation? Is it the gatekeeping community leaders who sell out the very people they were elected to fight for? Or is evil the politician that puts out lies and takes in cash? However you may classify evil, having to choose the lesser of two evils still leaves you with evil. Nowhere does this rule apply more than during an election for mayor. Choosing a candidate who is the lesser of two evils still leaves you with evil. No wonder so many people don't vote. It's time for the constituents to flip the script and vote for a mayor you can trust. My name is Jason McCauley. I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, in the Democratic Party primary election for mayor for the city of Hartford. I, like you, am an independent thinker. So let's sit down and talk about my path to victory and why my 5-point plan for Hartford will work. Stop listening to the uninformed evil interests that tell you I can't win. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience. Vote for the name you trust and know. Vote McCauley for mayor.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, welcome back. It's Morning Talk. Holy Spirit Consciousness. Raise your spirit consciousness. Jay Hogarth. You can check him out at jhogarth.com. All right, let me stop because I will absolutely get pulled into that and be back listening to the album all over again. Yeah. Yesterday I had the great pleasure of making a presentation to the 7th District Democratic Town Committee.
7th District.
7th District. So they're starting the town committees are starting to listen to the candidates make their pitch as to why they think that they should be considered for all the different offices, whether it's treasurer, city council, mayor. And so, you go on the tour of the city. So last night we were at the North End Senior Center. And so, when I go out places to either campaign or speak at a, debates or anything like that, I take the mobile office with me. So the mobile office is there, it's staffed up. The crew is there, and people can come there and register and stuff. So last night when we were there, Bridget Prince drove by and saw the office. So she taped a little video and posted it online. So I'm going to show you all this the video that she shot. If I can, it's right here. So let me show you this. Drop the music down, and it's right here. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure this is it. Where's the replay video button? Here we go. Let me drop this graphic. All right, so let's. There we go. Let's start it over. Here we go.
It's our time. We gotta rise up and take it back.
There she is.
Vote for Stan McCauley.
Hey, my friends, welcome to the McCauley for Mayor mobile campaign office. All right. I am sitting behind the desk. This is the mayor's desk. And I want you all to come on down and do a mayor for a minute. That's where we give you an opportunity to sit here and tell Hartford what's on your mind. So when you see the mobile campaign bus out there, stop on by. If you want to register to vote, stop on by. All right. The mobile campaign office is designed to be where you are. That way I can come out to you. My office isn't sitting on some West Hartford border, and it most certainly isn't a temporary place in the north or the south end. It is here for you, and it is wherever you are. So the campaign office is rolling around. I'm nearby. That means it's in your community, all right? So remember, McCauleyforMayor.com, MayorMcCauley.com. Special shout out to Bridget Prince.
Oh yeah, that's the inside of the, but it's not even finished yet. It's not finished, but it's almost totally finished and ready to go.
So, did someone come in? Yes, come in to the bus.
Say that again.
Did someone visit you in the bus?
Well, yes. People visit us on the bus. Hold on a second. I gotta mute that out. There we go. Yeah. People visit us on the bus. So more people will visit us as we're out more. But there's an event coming up Thursday. Next Thursday is a campaign event, and it's
where's that going to be?
It's at Hartford High, and that will be a candidates forum. OPP, our piece of the pie. The youth are leading this forum. So the youth are going to be asking the questions. I guess they're going to be moderating, and all of the candidates have been invited, and it should be rather interesting.
And your bus is going to be there.
Oh yeah. The campaign bus, and then we have what we call Mayor for a Minute. You get on the bus, and we'll let you sit in the mayor's desk. In the mayor's chair, and then you tell the people what would you do if you were mayor for a minute? What would you do to change the city, or what do you think needs to be done? And then we'll put those on the air on our network.
Nice.
Run them during the morning show. Yeah.
So I'm hoping I'm thinking
bring your mic.
More people will see you. More people will be curious and go on the bus, especially in the neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
So those people, hopefully, those people who just say, "I don't know, I don't care, I just want to vote Democrat," will have a name when they walk into the polls and a face in their minds,
right,
to push the lever, push the Stan McCauley lever, because they'll know him and they'll know he's a Democrat.
Yes.
We're stuck
We are stuck on Democrat.
We are stuck on Democrats. You know, there are good, viable Republican candidates that would probably be good mayors, I guess, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we're stuck on Democrats, which I think is a disadvantage. I think it's a disadvantage because we could be so easily used.
Yeah, see, my problem is anytime you swear an allegiance to something, then you're owned by that which you've sworn an allegiance to. And so, you know, in theory, you know, you're independent thinker and he's cut away. But the fact of the matter is the parties run the country, either Republican or Democrat. That it just is what it is. And everything is in that system. And so, you know, at some point, I think we've done a fair job of trying to make that message. But that's like saying that, you know, that the Amtrak controls there should be a different railroad system for you to choose from. Well, there isn't. So get on the train and either get on the train and go where the train's going or walk or drive.
I would like to be independent, but I fear that I would be on the outside of decision making of any kind.
Absolutely.
So I don't do that. Not to say that I'm always going to vote Democrat,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but if I think someone is better, I'll vote that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to be like independent.
Well, you can be independent thinking and still be a Democrat.
Right,
absolutely. What there has to be room for conversation. So being independent thinking doesn't mean don't be a Democrat or don't think in ways that are going to move forward a Democratic agenda. It means if you see something that's wrong with something, say so. Just because we're members of the party doesn't mean you can't speak in opposition to something that the party wants to do. That's always been my pushback. The lockstep walk as opposed to the debate, the deliberative process to come up with the best thing. And when that starts being muted, then we don't have the back and forth that gets the best of what we have to offer. We get told what to do and we do it. We're given the bucket of water and we carry it. You no longer ask, well, why am I carrying the water? I have ideas. Well, your ideas aren't. It's not time for your idea yet. Just carry this gallon down the road. We'll tell you how the thing. That's my problem. When people give that up.
Well, I have a very big problem with the text that I get from Washington,
mm-hmm.
where it says they'll ask you an obvious question, which you are gonna say yes to, like the Republicans want to take away Social Security or downplay Social Security. Do you want Social Security to remain, something like that? And you say, yes, I want it to remain, blah, 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 blah. Then they'll come down and ask you questions like, who do you think is best able to help Americans? Do you think that do you trust the Democrats to do more than the Republicans? It's one versus the other.
Mm-hmm.
And there are lots of things that, do you trust the Democrats to do this? And in my head, I said no. And I don't trust necessarily Republicans, but I haven't heard either side of these stories. They're just saying, because I'm a Democrat, I got to trust the Democrats. And I said, that's not necessarily so. I don't know what the issues, I haven't read up on the issues, and the Republicans that want to do this, you trust the Republicans to do it or the Democrats to do it? I think that those are unfair questions, and that's unfair to put us in that spot, because some people are going to say Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. Then they're going to put this up on a percentage board and say 100% or 68 or 90% of the Republicans, the people of the United States, vote for or want this
mm-hmm.
or want that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so many percentage of Americans who want Donald Trump to run or blah, 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 who are for Donald Trump and blah, 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 blah. And it was such an insignificant percentage that I saw. I said, I don't believe that.
Well,
I said, I don't believe that.
they're being very manipulative.
And I don't like it. And I just answered that first question that I agree with, and I don't answer any other because I just think that
it's always the question. If you want an answer, you have to ask the right question. And if you know how to ask questions, then you will find the answers that you're looking for. And that works real well when you're trying to probe for the truth or what went wrong and reconstruct a disaster or a series of missteps. But when you're trying to use those things to get people to think a certain way, because people do think a certain way. So, did you know that the Republicans are going to take away your Social Security? I didn't know that. All those dastardly Republicans. Do you support that? No. Oh, well, let me ask you a couple other questions. Do you trust the Republicans? Now, they already established that you don't trust them. Now they ask you a series of questions. Send you out another circular. Did you change your mind? Or do you still maintain this? Because we got the base questions. Now, we send out stuff. And they play with people. Rather than to just give you, this is the Republican policy. This is the Democrat policy. Which one do you like better? If you say the Republican, then as Democrat, you should say, well, what is it that they like about this plan that we need to take a look at so that we can make some adaptations to keep the people who support us content and happy? Where do we perhaps need to compromise? Do they have something that we're not thinking about? No. But see, no one does that because they're not interested in really what's best for you. They're interested in what's going to keep them in power.
Total control of your mind. That's what, every time I read this, I'm saying, you can't have my mind.
There you go. I love that.
You can't have my mind. You can't just tell me something and demonize one. You're the good guy and you're gonna demonize the other. I'm not. You're both a little of each. So don't try to tell me the Republicans are all terrible and the Democrats are all good. That's ridiculous. Because you're human beings.
They're human beings, and they're both people.
Yes.
They just think differently. Imagine if we did that every time we went out to a restaurant and people started ordering things that you didn't like in the menu, off the menu. How dare you order eggs? I'm offended by the fact that you eat eggs. And you ordered bacon too? Oh, God. Have this man arrested, a bacon and egg eater. And you having grits? Oh.
During the when Obama was president, I saw things as I saw the Republicans go after Obama. To me, this is just, and ignore the people. Mm-hmm. They just wanted Obama. They just wanted to get rid of Obama. They just wanted to show him up, and I didn't see any difference. And so I was an Obama fan. Obama. And I'm saying I'm not gonna even go with those Republicans because all they did was go after Obama. They didn't even think about the country. It was only get Obama. Mm-hmm. And so I was very upset about that. Mm-hmm. Then the Democrats come in and they keep they impeach this guy. They do this. They do, and I'm saying, what did you impeach him for? If you didn't have enough to get him on, why is he there? You must have known you didn't have enough to get him on. So what are you trying to do to us?
They don't. In many ways, it would seem that they don't really care about us.
And when Biden is in, I'm feeling not quite as bad as when the Democrats, when the Republicans in, but I'm feeling kind of the same way What makes you so different? Because why do we have to? Donald Trump's not even president, for goodness sake. Why do we have to hear his name every day? Why do we have to hear him? We don't hear Obama's name every day.
Well, people have a.
We don't hear, on and on and.
Well, people have a visceral response to Trump. So as long as his name stays out there, it keeps the base angry, and it reminds them why they have to do everything they can to keep him out. And so rather than to focus on the issues at hand and to keep us informed, we're told about all these other things. And so there's this new culture now of, if we don't agree with the thing, we cancel it, we dog it out. And you're going to see a fair amount of that in the campaign locally for mayor.
Campaign. It's going to be
this mayor.
ugly.
This campaign for mayor is. I'm telling you right now. It's not ugly. It's going to be ugly on the forward facing, where the public is aware of it yet, but it's getting there, because the back chatter is getting a tone of ugliness. These things happen, and so if you're really going to contend for the things you believe, and there are either honest differences or perceived differences, and those people are going to contend, then it starts to percolate and get. It starts going back and forth, and people start saying things in private that wind up becoming things that are now public, and then the broader entities get pulled in. You have proxy wars where you have surrogates saying things to leave the candidate out. But sooner or later, a candidate's going to start saying stuff, and then it'll get nasty. Because people's egos, everyone got ego, people's egos start getting stepped on, and now it starts coming out. And it could get it gets nasty, because the nastiness happens all at once, like that. It doesn't work up, and it's below the water. But the right thing causes it to percolate, and next thing you know, you got a full scale war. People start taking each other's signs. Oh, those are all the things you hear in every election. People talking about one another. It's election stuff.
It's just the way it is.
It's the nature of the contest. You got best friends on football teams that are different from one another, but fights break out on the football field and on the basketball field, because it's very contentious. It's very personal, and you play hard. And if you can't play hard, go home. And so it's a real thing. It's gonna be an interesting race, as they say.
So do I stay home? I don't know. Will I stay home?
I can speak as one of the candidates. I tell you, I'll do my level best to keep it clean. This, that, but if someone throws a punch at me, I'm going to punch him back. Most people don't think of Pastor Stan as being able to punch anybody. But then most people have never worked with. Lots of people worked with me. There are very, very few people who've actually worked for me. So perhaps they should talk to the people who've actually worked for me. They'll find that I'm not the same jolly, jovial person when you're working for me. I'm a fair boss, but I don't no. But my desire to win is honest. There's a notion out there. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard, that William DeBella is paying me off to be in the race. I can think of nothing more absurd. That's just one of the many rumors I've heard, and that's rich. That one is rich. That I should have the kind of influence to command that kind of attention from somebody like William DeBella. It's absurd. It's patently absurd. So we're trying to track down where that came from, so we can sue them for libel.
How you really gotta sue them for libel?
Well, if you want to talk about some free press, sue someone for libel and slander as a candidate. You may not win, But the fact that you're doing it would create such a and it would make so many people angry that the people angry would be talking about you in their sleep. So no matter what happens, people are talking about you. You know, so you folk out there that are angry may want to tamp some of that down, because every time you talk, it creates more free word of mouth.
Oh, that's a Trump move.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love when I love hearing reports about something that somebody said about the fact that I'm running. And you know, I love it. I love it. I love it. That's good intel. That means you're rubbing up against somebody. Yeah.
Has your viewing of your shows increased since you came out as running for mayor?
That's closely held. Our algorithms and viewership is always closely held. Everyone keeps those numbers under wraps as best they can, unless they're trying to sell something. Then you use those numbers to help boost up the price. But since we don't sell advertising time, we keep our numbers and algorithms close to the cuff, so that it always looks like we're not as effective as we actually are. Yeah.
Oh.
So
okay.
I would answer that question as much as I try to be transparent. But a question in the affirmative or the negative would give the opposition room to work. So we have to just keep them guessing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I will say this, our outlets far exceed what most people think. Like, we're not only on Facebook. We're on lots of different things, but we never tell everybody where we are. Yeah. But suffice it enough to see, or to say that people know what we say and do.
I guess they do.
So they must be watching at some point. I would imagine. I don't know. I always think no one watches. That's the best place to start. No one's watching.
I told you about the lady who came up to me in the supermarket and said, I watch you every Friday.
Wow.
I said, you watch it every Friday? She said she watches Wednesdays and Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, wow, well, thank you very much.
My wife was shocked the other day. She was at an event, and the woman came up there and says, I watch your husband every morning. Because my wife does not watch the program. She doesn't watch anything I do. I always joke with her about it. You never ever watch anything that I do. So I don't need to watch it. I live with you. That's more than enough. Listen to. I was trying not to listen to anything you say on here. Yeah. So.
But there are people watching.
I guess so. I don't know. I watch it. I watch you all. I watch Jonathan and Kasike. I used to watch my Cleo's reading corner.
Oh, Miss Cleo's storytelling corner.
Storytelling corner. Yeah, I watched all of the shows. They were my favorite shows to watch. Were the shows you all did. So you had one fan. If nothing else, you had me as a fan. I liked him a lot. I used to watch Eric Coleman's show all the time.
How long did Eric Coleman?
He did a show called The Senate Report.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I produced Eric's show on my dime, I might add. Okay, on my dime. Mm-hmm. On my dime. Eric never paid for a dime of that airtime. So let's make the record straight. And people out there saying stuff, gotta get their facts together. Yeah, George Logan too. When Eric left and became a judge, George Logan took over that spot. He happened to be a Republican. But they were both black senators, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the voice of a black senator or black representative to have access to the constituency. That's why I did that. And so, giving people a voice, that's what I do. We don't rob them of voice. We give them voice. Yeah. Did he do it for a year?
I think he did it, I want to say, for like 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. They're all still on. You can Google the Senate report. on YouTube. The Senate Reports with Eric Coleman. You'll come up. They're online. All of them are there. I haven't deleted anybody's shows or anything like that. They're all there with George Logan as well. Yep.
No, I never watched his show.
It was good. It was a good program. He gave people up-to-date news and information about what was going on. He interviewed a couple of people that were candidates. I think one of the interviews he did was with T.J. Clark, I want to say, when he was running for city council the first time. He was a guest on, I think he was a guest on Eric's show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Produced thousands of shows. I can't remember them all. George Athenson's show. I produced George Athenson's show. By George, it's Athenson. It was my idea to do the show.
Oh my gosh.
Carrie Saxon Perry's show. I did that show. 30 minutes with Carrie Saxon Perry. Used to have a gold watch in her opening. 30 minutes with Carrie Saxon Perry. This is the watch. This watch right here was open, and the camera zoom in on the watch. You can see the second hand, the sweep second hand.
Wow, you have a lot. You have a lot. But I
have videotape and conversations for the last 40 years. So I say that as a friendly warning. Be careful before you start coming for me, because I remembers. Just a slight shot across the bow to folk out there running their mouth. Be careful. Be careful. So we'll leave there on a good note before I go south.
Wow.
Y'all have a great rest of your day and have a good weekend. All right. Thanks for coming in, Miss Cleo.
Okay.
All right. Ciao, ciao, y'all. Bye-bye.
Hey, Hartford, Connecticut, I'm talking to you. We gotta get out and vote. Vote for Stan McCauley. It's our time. We gotta rise up and take it back. Vote for Stan McCauley.
Vote for Stan. You gotta vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Oh yeah.
It's more than politics than just what your social covers. And it ain't somewhere written down in bold letters. Don't just take my word for it, do your research. Think of your future, look at your bigger picture. Suit and tie, clean up, unity for the righteous. Plotting on action, hands-on access. With a light source vision, door-to-door knocking. Guerrilla style marketing, brainstorm as a collective. Real neighborhood suggestions. Only we know what it is where we living. To make real life decisions. Move on facts, make it manifest back.
You gotta vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Oh yeah.
Look at your city, stop. Take a look around. Is opportunity flow into your house? Are you working? Wait, can you save some money? And is your neighborhood safe? Or is it a homicide every night?
My name is Marlon E. Starler Sr. Many of you may know me as the two-time welterweight champion of the world. I'm here to tell you that Democrat J. Stan McCauley, as our next mayor, will fight for you until the last bell. Help me throw a knockout punch. Go out and vote for Stan the Man.
My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I approve this message.